Hi, Scarlet Marvel here, and welcome to today's Marvel News Roundup. We've got a lot to cover as it's been a while since our last Marvel News Roundup, so we'll be covering all the news from April 24th to May 17th. Also, stay tuned till the end of the video for a special announcement regarding the future of Marvel News Roundups here. Anyways, let's get started. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 just released in theaters on May 5th, and it's doing pretty well so far. As for critical reception, on Rotten Tomatoes it has an 82% from critics and 94% from audience members. On Metacritic it has 64 out of 100 from critics and 7.9 out of 10 from the audience. And its cinema score is an A, which is the exact same score as the past two Guardians films have got. At the box office, it got $118.4 million in its domestic opening, and $289.3 million for its worldwide opening, which is pretty good. But what's even more impressive is its second weekend numbers, as it got $62 million domestically, which makes for a 47.6% drop, the third lowest of any Marvel film, and the lowest since Black Panther several years ago. This is astounding and shows that the movie's getting incredible word of mouth. As for its total so far, it has $219.8 million domestically and $536.1 million worldwide, which means it's already surpassed the entire total of Quantumania. If you want to hear me talk more about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, make sure to check out my review, which was just recently uploaded. Moving on to upcoming Marvel projects, we've got Secret Invasion, which is gearing up for its release in June. Samuel L. Jackson has been revealing some information here and there in interviews, including the information that there will be no superpowered heroes in Secret Invasion, but that there is a, quote, good reason for that. What could that reason be? Do y'all have any theories? Let me know down in the comments below. He's also revealed that Secret Invasion has to happen so that the Marvels can happen, and that they are connected in an interesting way. This is another thing that we're just gonna have to wait and find out what this interesting way is. Don Cheadle has also been giving some information on Secret Invasion, confirming that James Rhodes will be the right hand to the president, and that he will be opposite to Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury. Could this be potentially as an antagonist? Could he be a Skrull? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Moving on to news on shows that are a bit further out, Patti LuPone has confirmed that the witches will be singing musical numbers in Agatha Coven of Chaos, which is interesting and is probably because of the success of Agatha All Along from WandaVision. We've also got some Daredevil Born Again set photos, revealing our first look at Michael Gandolfini's currently unknown character, who's theorized to be a younger Wilson Fisk, or potentially his son. Speaking of Wilson Fisk, we've also got some set photos that show that Kingpin is wearing a US flag pin for his mayoral campaign, once again confirming that he'll be running for mayor in this show. Now, Daredevil Born Again also had its production temporarily halted due to the Writer Guilds of America strike, which has also shut down production for Wonder Man and pre-production for Blade. So hopefully the many companies at Hollywood can come to an agreement with the Writers Guild and give them fair pay so that these productions can continue and so that the writers simply have, well, fair pay. Speaking of the Writers Guild of America, Vision Quest has been listed as a 2024 to 2025 season release in their directory, potentially confirming its release timeline. Lastly, for news around shows, we've got a couple big announcements that just happened this week at the Disney Upfront presentation, where Marvel Studios announced that Loki will begin releasing on Friday, October 6th, with weekly episodes after that, becoming the first Marvel Studios show to release on Fridays. Additionally, they announced that Echo will be releasing all 6 episodes on Disney Plus on November 29th, becoming the first Marvel Studios show with a binge release strategy, which is quite interesting, and we'll see how that works out for them. Speaking of Disney Plus, quite a bit of Marvel content has been uploaded in the past couple weeks to the streaming service, beginning with 6 new episodes of Marvel Legends that released ahead of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. focused on Star-Lord, Gamora, Nebula, Rocket, Groot, and Kraglin. Additionally, Spider-Man Homecoming and Venom have finally begun streaming on Disney Plus just this past week, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania began streaming on May 17th. Now let's talk about some upcoming Marvel movies, beginning with Captain America: New World Order, which has had a couple set photos that have leaked, giving us our first look at Sam Wilson's new Captain America costume, as well as Joaquin Torres' new Falcon costume. Additionally, we've gotten our first look at two villains in the film, who are potentially part of the Serpent Society. This includes Seth Rollins, who's been confirmed as part of the cast of Captain America: New World Order, as a mystery villain, probably a part of the Serpent Society. Lastly, with MCU movies, Deadline has confirmed that Rob Delaney will be reprising his role as unpowered X-Force member Peter in Deadpool 3. While that's it for MCU news, we've got a bit of Sony Marvel news, as Spider-Man: Across the Spider-Verse will be releasing next month, and tickets are now available online. Additionally, it's been reported that the movie will be 2 hours and 20 minutes long, which would make it the longest American-made animated movie ever released in theaters. Lastly, director of the movie, Kemp Powers, has teased that the film will end in an Empire Strikes Back style cliffhanger, setting up Beyond the Spider-Verse for next year. Moving on to some further out Sony Marvel movies, Kraven the Hunter had its first trailer shown at CinemaCon a few weeks back, which confirmed that the film will be R-rated and will feature the villain, the Rhino. And lastly, we've got some Venom 3 news, as Deadline has reported that Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Baron Mordo in the MCU, has been cast in Venom 3 in an unknown, potentially villainous role. Next up, we've got comics news, beginning with the comics that have released since our last news video. And this means that there have been 4 Wednesdays since our last news video, meaning a lot of comics have released. So I'll simply speak the highlights, but all the comics that have released in the past 4 weeks will be visible on screen through the visuals. So beginning with the comics that released on Wednesday, April 26th, some of the highlights were Alien number 1, Captain America: Symbol of Truth number 12, Daredevil number 10, Deadpool number 6, Invincible Iron Man number 5, Mary Jane and Black Cat number 5, Monica Rambeau Photon number 5, Sins of Sinister Dominion number 1, and Strange Academy Finals number 6. Moving on to the comics that released on Wednesday, May 3rd. The highlights were Carnage Reigns Alpha number 1, Cult of Carnage Misery number 1, Demon Wars Scarlet Sin number 1, Edge of Spider-Verse number 1, Groot number 1, Immortal X-Men number 11, Moon Knight number 23, X-Men Before the Fall Sons of X number 1. Additionally, Free Comic Book Day was on May 6th, and Marvel released a couple comics for the occasion, with Avengers/X-Men number 1, Spider-Man/Venom number 1, and Marvel's Voices number 1. Moving on to the comics of May 10th, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 25, Captain Marvel number 49, Daredevil number 11, Extreme Venomverse number 1, Silk number 1, Wolverine number 33, and X-Men Red number 11 as highlights. And finally, we've reached this week with May 17th's releases, with the highlights being Avengers number 1, Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty number 12, Danny Ketch Ghost Rider number 1, Fantastic Four number 7, Guardians of the Galaxy number 2, Hulk Annual number 1, Miles Morales Spider-Man number 6, Venom number 19, X-Force number 40, and X-Men number 22. If you like any of the comics I said, or any of the comics you saw on screen, make sure to look for them online or at your local comic store. There have also been some new comic series that have been announced over the last couple weeks, beginning with What If Dark, a comic series releasing this July and August with issues focused on Loki, Spider-Gwen, Venom, and Moon Knight, that feature dark turns on classic Marvel storylines. We also got the announcement of the final comic that will be part of the Fall of X event, being Jean Grey, a 4-issue limited series that will begin releasing this August. Also for this August, it's been confirmed that Carnage will be competing with Null for the King in Black's crown in Death of Venomverse, which is the conclusion to the Summer of Symbiotes event. And the last big comic announcement is kind of a big one, as it's been announced that in Amazing Spider-Man number 26, which will be releasing May 31st, Ms. Marvel will be dying in a tragic sacrifice, with her death's impact on the Marvel Universe being explored in the one-shot Fallen Friend, The Death of Ms. Marvel number 1, which will be releasing July 12th. This has already been proven to be a controversial decision with fan response online, so it'll be interesting to see where Marvel goes with this storyline and how it's impacted by Ms. Marvel's cinematic debut in the Marvels this November. As for news outside of Marvel's movies, shows, and comics, there hasn't been too much, although Shop Disney has revealed a couple of Marvel-related merchandise lines, beginning with a Loki line, which is now on sale, and 2023's Marvel Pride collection, which is also now on sale. Also in the realm of merchandise, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has quite a bit of merchandise in the form of clothing, plushies, and all the sorts. So make sure to look into that if you're into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 merch or any of the other collections mentioned. Lastly, we've got the special announcement, and that is that this is the final Marvel News Roundup in the current format. Instead, we'll be doing news through shorts, allowing them to come out quicker and closer to the initial news announcement. Of course, big news such as a Comic-Con announcement or something similar will be delivered through a bigger news video more similar to this format, allowing for more discussion. But mostly news will be through the shorts. I'll also be exploring other ways to utilize shorts, such as doing mini movie reviews, allowing me to review more films than I would be able to doing the longer formats. And of course, I am willing to explore shorts and other video formats for all of the wonderful Marvel content I bring to you all. So let me know if you have any other suggestions or ideas that you would like to see me do. Anyways, that is it for this final Marvel News Roundup under the format. Thank you for joining me. As always, check out any of the other Marvelous videos currently out on the channel, and let me know what you thought of any of the news I discussed. And thank you for joining me. Bye!